diving. Hope comes and stops us in our tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Good morning, Steele. Forgot what I was doing. All right, that part's done. I won't have to share it to one place on Facebook. Apologize, I gotta eat. All right. I use a reading. All right, that gets sent to me. I believe it's Hazelden Literature. Amber sends it to me. So, it's working. I want to do some feedback hub crap. I don't want to give any feedback. Okay. We will get started here in 1 second. I'm just kind of waiting for people to show up. Why is everything working like crap? I think the snow is just making even the internet slow. But I sent my wife a message here. I don't want to have to rewrite it. And now it's gone. Okay. All right. Well, I'll just send her a message in a minute. Send her a regular one in a minute. We're at that 3-minute mark. I can get going. Somebody requested that I go live at 11 because it was their lunch, so I'm just kind of waiting on them. That's what's going on. But welcome to Daily Trudge. I'm still Dion. If you're here, please say hello, whether you're watching live or the rewatch. I'm done eating. Switch that over to chat. All right. And let's kind of get going. This is just going to be a reading. It's not going to be very long. But even if the person that did request it doesn't show up, there's always a reason. There's always a reason, man. Yeah. Who knows? I don't even know what I'm going to say. All right. I mean, who knows who's going to listen to it? So. I call that taking direction in our life. Okay. So, a good scare is worth more to a man than good advice. E.W. Howe. That makes sense to us. Sure does. I mean, we call it the gift of desperation, but it is, it's fear. Fear being the touchstone of most change. It isn't required, but it does tend to get people motivated, right? Do you let yourself be afraid of your illness? You better. Many of us were scared into sobriety. Often a spiritual awakening directly follows a good scare. Fear seems to improve our vision. Well, I think they're going a little sideways here myself, but do you let yourself be afraid of your illness? No, I do not. The thing is if once you bring God into your life, there's no reason to fear it. I do not fear my illnesses. No. And I never did. I'm going to tell you what I did do. Of course, if this works for you, I can take it. No, I respect it. Fear is going to come with other things, and it's not something that I'm not willing to do that. All right. I do agree with fear seems to improve our vision. Oh, something's going on, and we're trying to figure it out. Good morning, Michelle. It's good to see you. So I'm going to kind of repeat that since people are just kind of joining. It says, do you let yourself be afraid of your illness? You better. Many of us were scared into sobriety, and not just from judges, other people. We don't usually make the decision in and of ourselves, all by ourselves, and to go into AA. Sometimes we do. I did, but it's not like people didn't suggest it before that and things like that, right? Even then, no, it wasn't really my choice. But when I got now I go by choice. So in the beginning, I didn't necessarily fear my illness as much as the fear is I was afraid that I was going to drink again. And that is a healthy fear. That's what we call a healthy fear, right? I get to see my therapist again. I'm very happy about that. I'm very happy about that. I get to talk to her again on Sunday. Wasn't going to be tomorrow, but I have to go get my license back. Such a pain in the ass. Such a pain in the ass. All right. Are you smart enough to run from your addiction? Man, what is this shit? Are you smart enough to run from your addiction? The first step should create fear inside of us. It's about looking honestly at our addiction and what would happen to us to keep using it. I'm not totally agreeing with this. They're just I feel like they're taking fear and utilizing it for something that is not necessary. So the first step should not create fear. It should actually give us hope. I don't agree with that. The fear is what brought you to the first step. Maybe the step before the steps. See, they're missing something here. They're missing the psychic change. That's the fear part. But when you come in and admit you're an alcoholic and then you hear other people, because that's you kind of taking the first step, admitting that you're an alcoholic, that your life is unmanageable, can it be scary? But no, the fear should not be the end result of that fucking meeting. Hope should be. Hey, Amber, you made it. I'm even doing your reading. Not your reading, but the one that you sent me. And I'm disagreeing with it a lot. It's like, be scared of this. I feel like I'm at church telling me if I don't do something, I'm going to go to hell. Right? It's about looking honestly at our addiction, what should happen to us if we kept using. All right? Think. If you're wanting to drink, think that drink through. Think it through. Where is that going to end up? Okay? But there's 3 thinks there. I'm trying to make up a third one in my head. It's not working. All right, so I'm just going to let's go one step further. Think about what would happen if you did not drink. Okay? Why is that? Because I never woke up in the morning wishing I had drank the night before. That has never happened to me. Ever. Hazelden literature. I love Hazelden literature. And this is Hazelden. And from my understanding, they are going to be approved AA literature. I don't always agree with the daily reflection either, you know. And they're talking about step one. This is clearly AA or addiction, right? But yes, there is a reason for it, right? Now, I'm not saying they're wrong. I just don't agree. I don't think that step one should initiate the fear. The depth and weight comes from a 12-step job done well done. That's where that comes from, and helping them understand, right? But since I'm a person with answers, since I have a solution to their problem, I'm not a fear dealer, I'm a hope dealer. I'm not going to institute fear in that case. Not on the first step. That part, okay, is the fear that brings us to it. Okay. That I understand, Amber. That you're mainly talking shit. Oh, that got real big. Looking at step one regularly will give us a respectful fear. We need to stay sober. Often fear is seen as bad, but it can be good if we listen to it. It can be a great mover. When you're afraid, your spirit is trying to tell you something. All right. Now, I hear where they're trying to get to as, it's kind of like our anger, where you take your anger and just shift it to something more useful in your life. I understand that. So if you look at step one regularly, now my question here is, are you not praying in the morning? I do step one every day. I do steps 1, 2, and 3 before I talk to any human being in this world. And the thing is why should we wait for fear to happen to make change or to motivate? It's not required. I'm not saying they're totally incorrect here, because fear is the touchstone of almost all change. It's how it goes. But it is not a requirement to continue forward. Why would I want to go each day and fear alcohol and fear step one? I see no courage in this. I don't see courage and strength. I understand where they're going to, but I would never do it this way. No. Right? So if I go to the doctor's opinion, I'm not going to pull that one out because I was going to make this one a little bit shorter. Yeah, I'm going to do it. Frothy emotional appeal seldom suffices. Okay, so here's the thing. You're going to die and you're killing yourself. So what? See, for a doctor or a psychologist or a lawyer to instill a fear in me ain't going to work. So, can I go back and drink now? Frothy emotional appeal seldom suffices. The message which can interest and hold these alcoholic people must have depth and weight. In nearly all cases, their ideals must be grounded in a power greater than themselves if they are to recreate their lives. Okay? This is where the fear is going to be done. And it can only be really done by a person who has experience in the program. Sometimes it might be a week. Sometimes it might be years. Okay? Probably best that if you're 12 stepping to complete the 12 steps, but it's certainly not a requirement. But you don't do it alone. There's usually a pretty experienced person and a newer person. That way you have both ways to be able to help this person. Okay? But I do not deal in fear. Pain, yes. Fear, no. Mm-mm. Pain. Because see, I can sit down and, well, I'm not hurting anybody. Everybody else will be like, you're hurting me, you're hurting me. Yeah. But then you and I come in and we talk about how ourselves and how we were hurting the people in our lives. And bam, we're going to get somewhere. That wasn't fear. That was hope. Okay. Prayer for the day. God, direct my fear. I can go with this. Have me go to you, family, friends, and others who love me. Help me see my fear and listen to its message. Action for the day. I'll list 5 ways that my fear has taught me an important lesson. I'll see that my fear can help me as long as I listen to it and not live in it. You know, sometimes I think writings are just laxative. When you have to write for 365 days, you're going to get muddled stuff sometimes. And let's remember that, this stuff is written by other alcoholics and it's their own experience. So I'm not saying that is wrong, but I don't necessarily agree with it. And, because we're going to learn something here. I can't just be like, hey, no. So it isn't that, and I don't totally disagree with it, but the way it was written, maybe I'm taking it wrong. I might be taking it wrong. Who knows? But to tell me to sit there and write about my fear, did you not do a fear inventory? Okay. Stop giving homework on steps 1, 2, and 3, Hazelden. No. Not the way it works. There's to be no action in those steps. And why is that? Why is it? Because you're learning a very, 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 very needed skill, delayed gratification. Yeah, you need that skill. If you can't acquire delayed gratification, it's going to be a tough life, right? I'll give you a good example. I gotta go pick up my meds, and I don't want to wait until fucking 6 o'clock tonight. Hey, that's when my wife gets home. She gets home about 5:30, right? So I went to go start my car. Didn't start. I'm not supposed to be driving, right? And I just went to go start it. I wasn't going to go. I wasn't gonna go. I was gonna see if it was gonna start, and I was gonna do donuts in our cul-de-sac. I was gonna do that so I could see how my car was driving and this stuff, but I wasn't gonna go anywhere. Okay. Well, that's delayed gratification. I'm not gonna get it right now. Okay. Now the old Dion would be just obsessed with that. Obsessed. Okay. But see, I could let it go until later. I'll just put other things in my day, right? There we go. See, that's delayed gratification. I'm not going to get what I want right now. There may be times when I'm not going to get what I want at all. Right? And this is the way it usually works. People come into the program and you ask questions and come up with ideas and all these other things. And the answer is always no in the beginning, because my will is not aligned with anything that is decent in this world yet. Then it becomes not yet. And then it becomes yes, because now my will is in line with my higher power. And the things that I thought I wanted, I did not. So now my wants are different. And I usually get what I want. I tend to get what I want. But what I want is no longer grandiose or that, requires the attention of other people and all these things that I used to do. So, all right. Well, hopefully I kept Amber a little entertained during her lunch. I'm not going to consume your whole lunch. So, thank you everybody for being here. I appreciate it. I love you. Peace out. And